You won't believe it, the real killer is listening in. He urged Chris to kill Will, but the coroner shot the woman in time, saving Will. As the killer falls, Will's tragedy ends, but he's unaware the girl he saved is in Hannibal's maze. On this very day, Will steps into Hannibal's kitchen, thinking to himself, today's lunch might turn out to be something truly special. He hopes Hannibal can free him, as Will's hallucinations worsen. He even sleepwalks on highways so dangerous. Of course, this gives Hannibal the perfect opportunity to reshape this poor little guy. Jack is basically a devil, but Hannibal manages to plant the seed of doubt in Will's mind with just 2 sentences talk about masterful. Jack drags Will away because there's been another celebrity murder case in town. Now that's a scene. Terrifyingly, 2 victims lie naked by the bed, back-skinned to the killer's artwork. Even crazier, the killer stayed overnight after the deed to talk about the sleepover. Subtitles. Will decides to use his special ability once again. What a passionate act. The coroner finds plenty of aesthetics inside the victims. Clearly, the killer has his own white angel plan. Even the victims can feel the tearing pain for 15 minutes after being wrapped. This killer is a meticulous artist. At this point, Will speculates that the killer fears dying in his sleep, thus creating these angels to protect himself. To figure out the killer's true intentions, Will decides to seek Hannibal's help again, but Hannibal almost turns him and Jack into enemies. You know what? He would actually take that back and say, "Help protect your mind." Hannibal's constant hints to Will are practically brainwashing him. In no time, Will's state of mind shifts. Soon, the killer is at it again, and this time the target is a guard. His back skin is also crafted into wings, it's giving the chills. But something's off. It doesn't seem the victims, leading Will to deduce the killer may be self-harming. The killer seems ready to become an angel, and his method of killing is raising eyebrows. What are you doing? Will questions himself, why not ask a few questions? And ends up answering himself. If you don't like me, I can't hear you anyway. At this moment, Will's attitude towards Jack starts to shift, and the curtains of mutual suspicion. The coroner discovers new clues on 3 bodies, and the identities of the victims are shocking. Those 2 kneeling suspects were actually top wanted criminals. The information they registered at the motel was all fake, and the vehicle was even stolen. As the investigation deepens, the killer is playing God by creating angels, but how does he know the identities of these victims? Meanwhile, police trace the killer, Budis, diagnosed with cancer 5 months ago at a cancer center. This story is getting crazier. Will finds Budis' wife trying to figure out how he reacted to his diagnosis, and she says he became utterly violent. To protect their child, she had no choice but to leave temporarily. Will inquiries about Budis' self-harm, but Budis' wife says she never believed in that, yet he constantly spotted strange things. Apparently, Budis experienced a terrifying fire as a child, and the person who saved him told him that angels are always watching. This brings Will and Jack to the fire site, where they find Budis has also had an angel transformation. Will looks at the scene with envy, thinking, how nice. He can choose self-exile while I'm stuck helping Jack solve cases. Maybe stepping back is my best option, he sighs, sounding like he's resigning from a competition. Subtitle. He's deeply ensnared in the devilish deal with Jack, and surprisingly turns to Hannibal for comfort. Their relationship now appears incredibly delicate. Hannibal casually dismembers 3 bodies for a soiree with the elite. What a unique party prep, right? Hannibal's unique methods leave top-tier authorities baffled. This is truly the style of an artist. At this time, Hannibal goes out for groceries only to be stopped by a handsome youth who complains about not being invited. A bearded guy jumps out of the crowd, eager to befriend Hannibal, while the bearded guy's black boyfriend appears particularly unnecessary. A week later, police received a report. The victim in a tub, kidney's gone. What's happening? Will once again taps into his empathetic abilities, only to discover the killer isn't committing murder but performing a rescue. Then, Will hopes Hannibal can help him solve the case. His casual question ends up inadvertently clearing Hannibal's name. Hannibal guesses the killer may be an intern earning extra from private surgeries, but killed someone by accident. After sending Will off, Hannibal suddenly gets an idea for his feast. Let's add some special ingredients to the main course. As bodies pile up, the coroner suspects an organ trafficking team. Not just one killer, it's straight out of Infernal Affairs. Hannibal's inspiration surges wildly, with bodies piling up in the morgue. Will panics at the sight of these organless corpses. Yet, Will can't find any clues at all, probably because he's exhausted and his hallucinations are worse than ever. At this moment, Hannibal comes over to Will, glancing at the victim photos on the table and helping Will analyze the case again. Meanwhile, on the other side, the female coroner and Jack unexpectedly stumble upon new clues. The ambulance driven by the killer is actually spotted nearby. The female coroner theorizes that the killer might be performing surgery inside the ambulance. Grabbing the lead, Jack rushes to, seeing Hannibal happily awaiting. Jack invites him to join the chase for the killer, but little does he know, the actual killer is right here in front of them. Soon, they reach the killer spot, but the manager tells Jack an intern took the ambulance caught red-handed.